morning, everyone, and welcome to Viva Cafe con Leche. I am Dr. Lori Monaco, the Badass Buddha, having a very frizzy hair day today. I'm not 100% sure why, but good morning. It is a cloudy, overcast day today in Shelton, Connecticut. So welcome and good morning to Viva Cafe con Leche.
Buenos días, mi gente. Aquí I am having one of those mornings. Wonderful. It's just all wonderful. And I'm going to introduce myself and then I'm going to go get my cup of coffee that's waiting for me in the kitchen. So everybody, buenos dias. Good morning. Namaste. Welcome to Viva. I am coming to you from a very dark and rainy Tampa, Florida.
Still raining over there?
It is dark. It looks like it's either 8 o'clock at night or 5:15 in the morning. Dark.
Has it been raining like all night?
Yeah.
Or is it stop and go?
Pretty much stop and go, but thunder, lightning, all that. But it's consistently now since I've been up since like 6:45.
Oh my God! Look at the way I posted that.
So yes, mi gente. Hello, Luis. Good morning. So it's always wonderful to be here at the beginning of the week. Today's August 3rd. Can you believe we're already in August?
Crazy. I can't believe it.
With kids in school, I'm sorry. Because now battles begin, huh? And I hope everybody got most of their supplies for school for their kids. Here, my daughter already went school shopping for my grandson. He's always excited. He's a sophomore in high school now. And Anaya's like, I ain't going to buy new clothes to go to college. So she's like, whatever. Smart girl. So that's it. So for all you mothers out there who have to start getting your kids ready for the school bus, just know that we love you from the comfort of my home.
Thank God. Yeah. Actually, that was good.
Yeah, so it's life is what you make it. Let's make it good. Let's make it happy, and with all the bullshit travesties in between, right? Tiffany, Brian, how are you? So
you want to get your coffee?
I do want to get my coffee. Un momento, por favor.
So good morning, as Gladiator Guru said. Good morning, Tiffany. Good morning. Michelle is in the house. So share with us what you're drinking this morning for coffee. Okay. I have Gladiator Guru will let us know when she comes back, but I'm drinking Caribou Coffee. Caribou Coffee Lakeshore. I think I've shown this one before. It's okay. It's not my favorite taste, but it's, I'm not going to throw out the bag. Let's put it that way. There's one coffee brand that I got a long time ago. I think it was about a year ago, and I did not jot the name down. And I'm so mad because it was such a great brand. Like it was so tasty. So maybe I'll figure it out at some point, but anyway, so yeah, just post what you're drinking. If you're not drinking coffee, then post if you're drinking tea, whatever, as long as you're drinking something warm and toasty. The temperature here in Connecticut has been really nice. It's been so cool, and there's been a breeze, and there hasn't been a lot of humidity. I think there was a little bit yesterday. Good morning, Liza. We're glad you're on this morning. Yeah, I've been very grateful for the weather. It's this time of the year, it's really crazy. It could be very humid. It could be really like hot. Yeah, exactly. Michelle, sweatshirt weather. Yes. I've been wearing long pants. Good morning, Connie. Good morning. Your sister will be on a moment. She's getting her morning cafe. And look at that. Nina's on. Nina's in the house. Good morning, Nina. Yes, it does. It really does. I was thinking about that yesterday. It feels like September. So it's really, but it's nice. September's weird. September is, it could be really cool and then it could be hot as freak. So that's the way it is in Connecticut. We have a lot of people that jumped on. Oh, Janine is on, Gladiator Guru. Michelle is on. Connie, your sister's on. Nina Perez is on. Liza's on. Oh,
Nina.
that's right. Liza's in Florida, so she says it's sunny. She says it's sunny where she is, so she must be on the East Coast, right?
Yeah, she must not be near Tampa. But yes, my sister's on. Buenos dias, sister.
What are you drinking this morning, Gladiator Guru?
I'm just drinking Cafe Bustelo with the little cloves in it. My coconut milk. And I didn't even get to froth it this morning. But it tastes delicious. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do to my soul.
Perfect.
So yes, it's a beautiful morning. Yes, August. Let's welcome August. Like what is supposed to be the hottest month of the year. And it is the end's beginning, right? Yep. It is where summer ends and fall begins. So it is August, the hottest month, and yet it is the end's beginning into fall, into autumn. And just gotta love it. Just gotta love it. I love it. Rainy days are my favorite. If anybody reads my blog, if you read my book, I talk about how rainy days are the days that complete me. They make me feel myself to my core. It reunites me with my inner child. It's melancholic and nostalgia all mixed up into one. Rainy days, cloudy days, thunder and lightning are my favorite. Take me to the beach on those days anytime.
Were you ever afraid of thunder and lightning when you were a kid, or you always found it fascinating?
I've always loved it. It's always felt like I knew it, like it was very familiar to me. That's why my back porch, I created my sanctuary with the tin roof. So I sit back there. It gets noisy as hell, but I sit back there and I listen to it. And it just makes me feel like I'm so grounded and that I'm home. If not, I go to my front porch and I just watch it rain on the streets and on the cars. And I love it. The sound of it is like no other. It's just like.
Yeah, I agree with you. There's a lot of people that like that. Nina says, I love rainy days and thunder. And then Liza says she hates them.
Yeah, there's people like I would always, when it rains, I would always stop what I was doing, whatever I was doing, even if I was at work, and I would go open the door or go outside. And a lot of people here at the beginning, they're like, oh, what are you doing? Close the door. I didn't realize that Tampa is like king supreme of people being struck by lightning. Yeah, like, oh, there goes that. But I still go outside. I love it. Sunny days, I think they're so overrated. I think the sun, what does the sun do? You're always in a glare. You got sunglasses on. It's like you're hiding in plain sight. There's always this, and then the sunglasses, or you got a big hat on. So what are you really? But the rain, I just love it. You walk in it, you cry in it. It comforts you. It protects you. Okay, that's it for my.
You definitely wouldn't like the desert, because it's just they hardly ever get the rain and it's always sunny. And I understand what you mean, because in the places that I was looking at, when I was traveling, it was all like that. It was sunny and it was great, and the sky was blue and puffy clouds. But there's that other piece of it that was just, I keep saying to myself, can I like really live without any rain, or minimal rain? Because I'm with you. I mean, maybe not as much. I think I do like thunder and lightning, and I love rain. Rain brings life. Everything is so much greener after it rains. But I don't like a lot of rain. So it's like, for some reason, I can't figure out where is like an in-between, like a happy medium, because it's like it's either too much or too little. There's like no in between, it seems.
Oh no, I never think of rain that way. Like the drizzle rain that comes in, and right before it comes in, it's like Mother Earth is letting you know, cover my child, because you smell it. It's like you smell it, and then when it touches the dirt, and that smell of the fresh first raindrops touching that dirt, it's just
I like that smell. I do too.
And then when it pours, I just love to watch it. I love to hear it. It's like it's telling you a story, but if only you listen. tells you a story. And then when it rains hard, it's like me. Like when I'm passionately talking to you about something, it seems like I'm yelling, I'm ready to pounce on someone, and that's my favorite part of the rain. But then when you're whispering sweet nothing into your mother's ear as she lays dying, that's that soft rain that first comes up and tells you everything's gonna be okay. So rain in every etapa, to me, it speaks life. It speaks continuous life, and depending of how hard it falls, it's how deep the story goes. And that's why, I mean, my blogs and my book, it talks about rainy days and healing, and I hear the rain outside and I go outside, but it's like it's raining in my soul, and it's healing, and it's washing away all that I no longer need. So if anybody says, hey, you like rain, I love it, and I love the gray clouds that come with it, and I love when the sky goes and it's like you pulled the shade down. Yep. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Was it raining when your mom passed away?
No, it was actually very sunny. When my dad passed away, it was sunny. When Eric passed away, it was sunny and hot. So yeah.
He is on all the way from Colombia. Good morning, Edith. So we're happy that Francie is on.
She makes it sound beautiful, and I don't love it. You know, because we're like finicky little fuckers. We want everything according to how we want it, and that's not life. And whatever we think is best for us doesn't mean you can put that upon someone else. So my rain is my rain. It's my comfort. It's my security blanket. It's what
Morgan Schroeder.
Hey.
Good morning, Morgan Schroeder. Nice. I think you were first time on, right? So good morning for that.
Yes, Morgan Schroeder, and welcome to Viva Cafe con Leche.
And Ana Laura's on. I think you're right. So I think you're right. You are right. It's everybody's different. Everybody likes something different. And you know what's interesting is so many people say they don't like rain or they don't like thunder or lightning. Yet you get one of those nature sound things, and what's one of the things that they record? They record rain, they record thunder, they record,
the ocean, whale sounds, everything affiliated and associated with water. And yeah, so I mean, we need to like take these blinders off of all the inhibitors we've placed on ourselves and stop imposing them on other people just because I don't like this, I don't like that. We all like something. We all have something in common. That is life, and rain brings life.
Do you see this? Morgan puts, my real name is Steve Adams. He said, my ex keeps changing my name. All right, then.
Okay. But yes.
Sorry that she keeps changing your name. I don't know how she has control over that, but okay.
Listen, I read a story the other day about how this lady left her boyfriend, and they had whatever, they moved in or whatever. So then she decided she didn't want to be there no more. I don't understand. So he went, bought a car, registered it in her name, parked it in the airport, and forgot about it. And she acquired like $10,000 in parking tickets. How about getting back that way? I was like, people just are so inventive. If only they did that as far as a means for abundance for their own life, they'd be unstoppable.
And that was a fabulous story to share, considering what the conversation is today.
Oh, Michelle Houston, I love it. There is an ass for every seat.
Absolutely. Oh my God! Yes, let's put that up. That is fabulous. Absolutely. We
are all humans, and as humans, we are all flawed humans, and we love what we love, and because we do, we try to impose it on other people. But I say, don't. Just one day when you're not doing nothing and it's pouring out, just sit down, shut everything off around you, just sit down and listen to it. Listen to the melody, the lullaby, the story. There's something in the rain that we should appreciate while we still can. As we were talking yesterday, Badass Buddha, about the environment and how people are not really taking it serious. Well, if we don't keep taking the environment and saving our earth, rain is going to be the most dangerous thing to fall on us at one point, right? So enjoy it. And here's to, let's form something to get involved. and doing something for the earth.
So this Morgan Schroeder, whatever his name is, Sam, I don't know, whatever is it, Steve, he says, I took all women are crazy nuts. I'm assuming he thinks that's what he means. Yeah, this isn't the greatest place to write a comment like that, considering that this is, but hey, listen,
His power of what?
Power of pussy.
Good morning, Carmen Nieves.
Good morning.
And Paul Ritchie was on. I love when he's on, because I love how interactive he is. So if you're still on, Paul Ritchie, let's get to it. So what you say? You liked my last comment. Why?
I like your last comment. Why? What'd I say?
Brilliant. It was brilliant ideas.
Because it was about, your last comment was the segue into what we're going to talk about today. It was absolutely brilliant. Oh, he's here. Poe Ritchie is here. So what happened was we had a scheduled guest for today, and we will reschedule her. We hadn't heard from her, and we've had this happen a couple of times where we didn't hear from them, and we hoped for the best, and we got on, and then we ended up having to do what we do and just have to wing it without the person. So we sort of tightened things up a little bit to really give them only a certain chance to like get back to us. And if we haven't heard from them by a certain time, then we have to cancel out and reschedule. So she did, by the way, get back to us. She got back to us at about almost 1 o'clock this morning. And so she said that it was the best way to get in touch with her was through like Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp. So now we know, see, this is what happens, is that we learn as we go. Like we've been really, matter of fact, we were talking about this as well yesterday. We learn as we go, and so now I think going forward, we have to absolutely make sure with all guests that what's the best way to communicate with the individual so that we're not like in la la land, so that we're not like, we reached out to this, and she's a phenomenal person. So she's going to be an absolute phenomenal guest. She was very apologetic, but we reached out to her numerous times, and in different ways, every way except the way that she said, which was funny, And so now we just need to that's one piece now we have to make sure that we ask of guests is what's the absolute best way so that we know we don't miss you. So anyway.
Yeah. And the good thing about is being sharp is that it's okay. We all, as individuals, God knows how many times I couldn't get logged on. Anna, we're going to explain it to you in a moment. And so again, it's about, okay, this is what happened. And then we iron it out. And now we know better for the same person or for the next one going over. Now we know what is the best contact to have. And so sometimes we need to go through this so that we can say, okay, I need to ask this specific
learning curve.
So, yeah.
I like Liza put smoke signals.
So, it's just all of this, I think, goes into what we're going to talk about because, it doesn't matter. Things are going to happen. It'll be one bad dream you have. It'll be you rolling over thinking you're going to wrap your arms around somebody and falling because you forgot that you're single. So it's going to be all those things that are going to set you off in the morning. And the domino effect might delay like your first part of the day. So you know what? Get up, take a deep breath, say, I got this. Think on your feet. We discussed it yesterday. If there was a no-show by such a time, then we were going to create a subject, which is what we did. So it's about not what happened. Okay, how are we going to get up from it? And I had a great talk with my life coach yesterday because, I'm still on that wave of sorrow more than mourning. And so I have to reroute my life mentally so that I can follow it spiritually. And so it was a great conversation. Badass Buddha. So, because we're flawed and we're emotional and we're going to take 2 steps back when we should be running forward because it's just that moment, right? So we've got to take a deep breath and repeat, which I hadn't been doing for 2.5, 3 weeks, is I got this. I told you to do it, and then I forgot when I got lost on Sorrow Lane. And this Healing Boulevard has many different lanes, and if you're not careful, you're gonna veer off. And then I veered off into Sorrow Lane. So we got this. And what is your intention?
Well, let me just comment on what you said before we say the intention, because we as the tribe need to honor you about something, because, and you are a representation of what we all do at time and time again, is that we're so hard on ourselves. We have so much expectation of ourselves that we should be here and we should be there and we should be doing this. And, you are a gladiator guru. There's no question like that. That role is totally you. We've talked about this. We talked about this last week, that you have always been a strong individual. Everyone knows you that way. And so to be so thrown off your game because of the death of your mom, I think a lot of us who know you didn't expect it. And I don't think you expected it either. And so for you to have the conversation with me that you did yesterday, I'm honored for it. And it's really important for people to understand that we know people as we know them. And sometimes we just expect something or not expect, that's a bad word. It's that we just assume that somebody will get over something, or somebody will understand something, or somebody will behave a certain way, regardless of what it is. But we never know when someone gets thrown off their game. And that usually it is an indicator of a big shift is about to happen, and that there's misalignment within self or the universe or whatever. And that we just have to be open to it. And we have to sort of take a pause and feel it and just honor it, and then work through it. It's not dealing with it. That's different. It's, literally work through it. And it could take longer than we want it to, and so it's always about reaching out to the person and saying, are you really okay? And then admitting to yourself if I'm really okay. That's the other piece, because sometimes it is harder for somebody to say, I don't, can I help you, when you're saying to yourself, oh,
I'm fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's me. I'm fine. But let me tell you that. Thank you, because for those who know me, I've always had a rocky relationship with my mom. There was always a lot of resentment. There was a lot of why didn't you grow up, and it's all in my book. I talk about it. I'm very raw with it about my parents and everything. And when she got sick, I didn't want to go. I'm like, how can I take care of her when I love her, but I don't like her? And then 4 years, fast forward 4 years, and I got to spend that time with her, and I got to know her at a level that a child should know their mother. And I got to know her at a level from a woman to a woman. And then I realized that I had to forgive myself for holding on to the sour moments, and I had to forgive her for not doing what I expected a mother to do. So, absolutely, Michelle, grief has no limit. So I'm just, I'm walking with it as we walk through it.
Yes.
And when my spirit is ready, what is it? Survivor's guilt? Is it grief? Is it, I had a 10-year expert caregiver at this time, and the 2 individuals I cared for both died in this bedroom. So you know what? It's the most comfortable room to sleep in. And so I've witnessed miracles. I've witnessed people take their last breath and go in such a peaceness, but you know what? It's still a grief. Is it survivor's guilt? Is it just a grief that I spent and wasted so much time on holding on to a child's mentality of resentment of what a parent should have been? And as I matured, that thought didn't. So that resentment just stayed at that level of mentality, but I matured in everything else. So it's something I have to go through. And I'm very happy that I have the people that I have to speak to, and who are very raw and honest. Badass Buddha, thank you for yesterday. You pointed out some things that made me go, And that's where we are. And that's what happens in life. And then you can be brilliant and
dumb at the same time.
Amen. So let's get into topic. What are
the intention for today is today I will I will shine my brilliance as I go forth throughout the day. Today I will shine my brilliance as I go forth throughout the day, because we're all brilliant. And we're going to get into why, even as brilliant as we all are, we still do dumb things. So today I will shine my brilliance throughout the day.
And mine is very simple. Since I woke up with the rain, life is beautiful every day. Life is beautiful every day.
Oh, look at what Michelle wrote. This is beautiful. Holding space for you. It's your path and no one else's. And I got to tell you, that is one of the most honoring things to say to somebody, is holding space for you. It's even more, I think it's more honoring than even just saying, I'm here for you, or, you know, what do you need? I'm holding space. Holding space makes it completely open. It's like, whatever it is that you need, that's what I'm either just for me to be here, in my mind and emotionally, to be just sitting next to you. You know, there was it's funny. I watch Sex in the City. I love that show. And I'll sometimes watch the reruns. And there's this one episode that happened to come on. I was watching the other day, and one of the characters had a miscarriage, and she had been trying to have kids for a while. And the other friend got pregnant without trying, and she was thinking about having an abortion. So the one that had been trying to have babies was very angry at the other one, right? And then she found out that she's probably not going to get pregnant, because they went to a fertility doctor. So they meet each other on the street, and the one that's upset with her tries to avoid her, but she's like a real kind-hearted person. So she's like, no, I can't ever. And she tells them, she's like, I can't ever have babies, you know, whatever. It's going to be too hard. It's like a 25% chance. She's like, well, do you want me to, you know, can we talk? Can we go somewhere? She's like, I really don't want to talk to you right now. I just can't be with you right now. And she's like, I understand. And she starts to walk, and she goes, I'm just going to stay behind you and make sure you get home okay. And it was cute, because the one girl just walked, you know, and then the friend was like about 25 feet behind her, walking to make sure she got home, didn't say anything, even though the friend that was walking behind knew that she was also upset with her because of her choice, you know, her possible choice. It was just that presence. And I watched that scene, and I'm like, you know, that's so meaningful, because it's like, you don't have to be next to the person. Just the presence of the person is really huge. Anyway, so.
And that's what we're supposed to do as friends, as family, is not force somebody to follow your beliefs. Let them know, okay, I don't agree with that, but I'm here if you need me. And that's being honest. And what is Morgan Schroeder talking about? Yes, Morgan, the Bible does say, honor thy mother and father. And that's what we do. Everybody has a different way of doing it, but you do. We honor them. I honor both my mother and father. Yeah. I just like them all the time.
He said, what do you guys think of on the world besides common stories? Have anybody noticed the change? Well, and so that's the whole point of the conversation, because change starts with us. And when we make choices, whatever choice it is, we're either going to make a good choice or we're going to make a not good choice. And I don't want to say a bad choice, because there really are no bad choices when we learn from them. Because things could always be corrected, redirected, you know, shifted. So if we are headed in a wrong direction, we can always change it. So the conversation today is that it's about why we can be so brilliant, you know, and then make stupid choices. And the reason we came up with this conversation today, because we were talking yesterday about things that we've done. We've talked about people that we know that have made statements like that, saying, you know, or maybe they didn't even make the statement. Maybe we know them, we know what they're capable of. And then they make such a dumb choice, or, you know, they whatever. And it has, so what do you think, Gladiator Guru, what do you think the main culprit for that is? Like, what do you think the main thing about why we could be so brilliant? We could be educated, we could be life educated, you know, we could have, you know, degrees up the yin yang, all kinds of work experience, we could move around the world and meet different cultures and know so much, but then we get really, then we do something really stupid. It's like, what do you think that is?
Putting some excitement in your life? No. Like, let me just do something totally opposite. What we talked about, it could be fear. It could be the information overload that we get, and then we get so clusterfucked in our brain that we don't know what to do next. So we do something we wouldn't normally do. I think sometimes too, it's the when you have everything you want, you build this pedestal for you. So a lot of the times you do stupid things. You're nonchalant about it. You get nonchalant about things that are going on, and then you can do the dumbest thing to people because you think you're up here and everybody, the peasants are down here. And it's not that you're a bad person. It's that, we tend to walk from one room to another and forget what we came to get. I've been doing that a lot lately. I don't know if it's the menopause. I'm like, the fuck that come in here.
No, it's not. It's just, I think it's stress. It's stress.
And I'm like, I just said I was coming. I'm talking as I'm on my way to the room because I'm going to get something. And then I get here and I'm like, what did I do?
And just you saying that, you say you forget something from one room to another. We do the same thing with our thoughts, with what we were doing, what we were working on. We will say in one room, I'm no longer, make a declaration. I am no longer, you're on the phone with somebody. I'm no longer eating gluten and bread and blah, blah, blah. And then you go into the other room and then without thinking, you grab a piece of bread, and it's that simple. Our mind is so fleeting because we are very mindless. A lot of times we are very autopilot. We're not thinking. We just go through our little world and not think, twice about it. And I think a lot of the driving piece with the stupidity is emotional. I think it has to do with emotional intelligence. I think when we get too emotional and disconnected from our brain and our heart, so we lack heart-brain coherence, that we have, we get that stupidity. We go back to like almost childlike, like we forget everything that we've ever learned, thrown it out, and then that's it. And look at Edith says, I do that too. Absolutely.
It's like, yeah. And you know what? As we said in the beginning, we are human and we're flawed. And we like to think and believe we have it all together, but it takes that one straw on the camel's back that everybody else would be like, why did that make you break? But it's something that can be irrelevant to everyone around you that can make you go from brilliant to dumb. And I think we're using that. Please don't take offense because it's not that we're offending, but we make dumb choices on a daily basis. And the to me, the major one that says that we do poor choices on is ourselves. Yeah. We don't choose ourselves. See, the choice to be out there, start the day and dedicate it to this and that, and fine, it could be for your business. It could be for your job. It could be something you got to repair in the house, but you're tired or whatever. And you get up and you're determined. Boo, boo, boo. So that makes you successful. That makes you living in abundance. But then you're dumb at the point where you're not feeding your spirit. You didn't take care of you that day. You didn't make yourself a priority. Everything was poured out. It will, everything you poured into it will affect you when you're making things, when you're writing, when you're taking care of your children, all that. I'm not saying it has anything wrong to do with it, but if you look around your day and you sit back and you're accomplished, but then you didn't eat, you forgot to eat because you were so busy filling everybody's cupboards. You didn't drink enough water, so you're a little dehydrated, which then makes you tired. And your hair gets frizzy or oily. I mean, there's so many things that we failed to realize what we needed to do. So I think that's going from brilliant to dumb, is when the brilliant person forgets to take care of the brilliant person. But you're pouring out to everything else. Your rebuttal. I
don't even think it's necessarily being like the Captain Save-A-Ho. I think it even goes further. The emotional intelligence is set into place since we're children. So if you think about this, that a lot of this has to do with how we were as a child, what's lacking, what's missing. Because even I'm just thinking of the few people in my head. I'm just, oh, why did I do that? I'm just thinking of the few people in my head that I know is that are real smart, and then they've done like really I don't even want to say dumb or stupid. It's emotionally charged things that have to do either with their family or with whoever, right? And you think of it and you talk to them and you're like, why would you have done that? Like, why would you have said that? And you just, it's because it goes back to when they were kids. It's what didn't happen for them or what happened for them. And there's this connect. I mean, I know for me, a lot, whenever I go into that emotional state of really just not being focused, it always goes down to like an insecurity of some sort, something that I didn't speak up or were fulfilled about, but it's mostly an insecurity. It's like, it's based on that. And sometimes I have to like stop myself and say, I thought I was over this. Like I thought I got past this piece. And again, it's about being mindful. It's about not just running and reacting. It's about responding.
And you think when we don't do that, that's when we go from brilliant to dumb. When we don't,
We
in
do.
other words, when we don't show up for ourselves.
Yeah, we do. I mean, listen, I'll say I'm not gonna throw her out there, but I know somebody close to me that is a very bright woman. She's well educated. She's really good at her job. She can hang with the guys and whatever, and be right up there. In fact, very intelligent, even more so than some of the other people out there and some of the guys out there. And yet she was so bad at relationships. Like she couldn't go a certain period of time without dating somebody. She would break up with somebody and then a month later she'd be back with another guy. And everyone was the same. Every single relationship was the same. Every single one was the same. And she would attract the same type of person, on and on and on. And then she'd say the same thing every time she and most of the time it wasn't her that broke up, as the guy. She would say the same thing after the relationship ended. I'm going to take a break. I don't need any of this right now. And then a month later, she would be back dating somebody, and this went on for a good, I would say 10 years total before, let me see, 10 years. No, maybe even longer than that, a good 14 years or something like that before that actually settled in, and it was, and I'm hoping that, that's shifted over the years, but I don't know. We'll have to see.
That takes a lot of inner work. I've met people like that. And those are just people who cannot be alone. There's people who are just born into this world that they cannot be alone. I've met many widows from ALS that marry before or at the 1 year mark of their spouse dying of ALS. And I always look back and I wish them well, and I was happy for them. I'm going on 4 years. I still haven't gone out on a proper date, and it's my choice. But there's just some people that are not cut out to be alone. And they can be doctors and they can be, these intelligent 12-year of college people. They can be your high school dropout. It doesn't matter. The social status doesn't matter. And the need for somebody to feel that comfort and to have somebody by you. And when it doesn't work out, then they're not afraid to end the relationship because they're not afraid to begin one shortly afterwards. And when you look at that person, some people judge them harshly. I think they're courageous, that they're just hopeless romantics and they're not going to give up on a sour patch of, they're not hating men, nor are they hating themselves. They just believe that maybe the next one. And that's their, personal agenda, and that's how they survive and they crave. And I think that again, we're all flawed and we all have different needs. And as the badass Buddha, the gladiator guru, speaks to you, my tribe, we always talk about try our hardest, because it's like being a recovering alcoholic 20 years later. You still want that shot of tequila, not to judge and
Yes.
not to impose your beliefs and other people. But to say, this is how I am, this is what I believe in, this is what I'm okay with. So you can't fix me, you can't change me, for I am not broken.
Well, and we are, and I think that's part of it too, is that there is always this element that we believe that we are broken. And when we are brilliant, and then we make dumb choices, you go, that's when it seems like we're broken. And that's where we have to take that step back and actually look upon it. The change only comes within us. Sometimes we have to be aware of it. Like sometimes we're become aware of it. Sometimes somebody else has to recognize it and like point it out to us. But we have to be open to it. We have to hear it, because the way that we grow is by being aware of different things. Okay, so we are done with that one. I'm going to tell you that right now. Okay. All right.
You got it?
Yeah. I'm working on it. The glory of that, the power of that. All right then. Oh my goodness gracious. So listen, you know how we are in our tribe here. We are very open to conversation. We are absolutely, but if it is not going to be beneficial for people, then we don't want to hear it. This is our platform and our show. The goal is to lift each other up, not judge. You know that we all have our path. We all have who we are and who we're meant to be. And to have commentary on there that is going to say otherwise is not tolerable for us. So that was the first time we've ever had I guess it's a social media troll.
Yeah, and he was talking a lot about, and let me tell you, born, baptized, raised Catholic, um, spiritual world, visited many non-denominational churches just to feed my soul, building a one-on-one relationship with my God. God is never to be forced upon anybody. Jesus is never to be forced upon anybody. It is to be spoken with love and with truth to it. And then you allow the path for that someone you're speaking with to be guided. It's never to be something that if you don't listen to me, you're stupid. And the Bible says in the Bible. So, we've allowed him to say what he needed to say. But the last comment was way so.
Yeah, it was progressing. It was escalating.
And absolutely, everybody has a story to tell of where their spirituality goes, and everyone should respect everyone's spirituality, and not force any of our beliefs, which is what we do here. We don't force our beliefs. My personality, you said something about being whole. I write about that. People choose a part of you that they can deal with. So when all of you show up, and they're like aware that all of you showed up at once, then now you become like threatening or overwhelming or too loud or too boisterous, or, too flamboyant, and because they chose a part of you. And you know what? When I show up in all my glory and all my flaws. I don't hide what my flaws are, but I will tell you, I will work on it. That's not a promise. That's just me saying I am going to work on it, because you know what? Not everything I do is up to par with what everybody else likes. So I have to respect that in other people. And so when we show up completely in our glory, then just do it, because we're not for everybody.
I like what you just said. I love how you said that people, do you remember what you said?
They will only pick a part of you that they're comfortable with.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then when you show up in all of your glory, then they have a problem with it. When I show up completely, which I always do, but it's like you wear your hats for your different occasions. When you have a masquerade party to go to, you wear a certain mask. When you're going out for Halloween, you have an array of masks to wear. You put them, but I wear hats. So I wear my fedora for this event. I wear my baseball cap for that. I wear my Kango for that. because it's where I'm comfortable, right? But what's underneath the hat hasn't changed. So people they pick a part of you that they are comfortable with. But guess what? You are the author of your life. So you have to make sure that either this goes like this for them or just close them out, because you are complete. You're never apart. And then that's where what's the word I'm looking for? Lori, what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know. Give me more. Give me more. Give me more.
That's where well, when they pick a part of you, and then when they see the all of you, then they start the judgment and the criticisms and the categories. They start checking out.
Oh yeah, putting you in a categories, right?
Come in, and you know what? Oh, if you always show up with your true self, not giving a shit who's gonna like you or not, because I don't care who likes me or not. I'm gonna show up in all of my glory. It might not be yours, but I have to live with all of me every day of my life.
Yes.
So what I need to fix, I will fix. When I have people remind me, maybe you need to tweak this, I take that as, thank you. I'm going to work on that. You know why? Because we need people like to light those firecrackers up our asses sometimes, because we tend, especially in my moments, we tend to, and then wait for that last minute. And everybody who knows me knows I'm always late. So we have to just work on it. We need those reminders, and that's what makes us brilliant, is when we can accept that. When we close ourselves up this way and this way, and all we do is this, but there's no re-entry and there's no new visualization, we're cheating ourselves. So don't get mad when other people are like, I can't deal with you no more. I just can't.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
So that's being brilliant and dumb at the same time. Don't be brilliant through here. Hey, I'm Margarita. I can't hear you. I can't hear you because I'm only Margarita, and only Margarita matters.
Well, and I think you're right. I mean, that's again, it's about sometimes, even as brilliant as we are, again, those whatever was instilled when we were younger, whatever insecurities we have, whatever vulnerabilities we have, they are always at the surface. There's something called shadow work. Shadow work is when you're working on the stuff that you've kept deep down inside, because those shadows will pop up at any time, and you could have them controlled for years, and then it'll just pop up out of the blue in your 40s or whatever. And it's those things that we have to be, we might not want to be aware of them. We might be aware of them, but we don't want them to come out. But really, people can see them sometimes. And so we need to also be very open to, like Michelle said earlier, giving the space to the person, honoring them, and trusting in the process of, like, if Gladiator Guru said to me, listen, this is what I noticed about you, that, like if she points out my stupidity, am I going to say that I wouldn't get mad? Of course I would get, we always do, especially if we know it. Like when we know it and we didn't want anybody to see it and somebody points it out, we get very defensive. So the idea is, if you feel yourself getting defensive, take that step back and say, even if you have to walk away and get pissed at the person, just say, okay, I'm pissed. Are they right about this? Like, is it something that I need to work on? Because I would want her to tell me, like if I'm being stupid about something, because I'm always wanting to better myself. And then, but here's the other thing. If you are okay owning it, then you have to say to the other person, no, listen, I'm okay with being that way. Like, I don't want to change that piece of it. But I would want, like, if I made bad choices with, let's say, dating or something like that, I would want her to point that out to me. I would want her to say, why do you do that? You're so smart. Why do you second guess yourself? Why would you do that? I want her to notice that and tell me. She's done it before to me. She's said it. She's like, why do you, and it's all insecurity for me. And so the only way to change it is to be aware of it, but to be open for other people to point it out. But there is a catch, it's, if anybody else came up to me and said it, well, not anybody else, there's a certain handful of people that could say to my face what I'm being stupid about without me with it allowing me to be able to digest it. I'm not saying I wouldn't get mad about it. Gladiator Guru is one of them. She could say it to me. I may or may not get mad. I might say right on the spot, you know what, you're right. Or I might get pissed about it and just shut up about it and then think it over. But I would know that she's coming from her heart. Like she's telling me from her heart. She's not saying it because she's coming from a scarcity mindset that she's trying to knock me down, blah, blah, blah. Because there are those people out there. They love telling you what you're doing wrong and how stupid you're being. But there's a handful of those people. And I can think of them off the top of my head that if they said something to me, I would take it in and I would think about it. Even if it was somebody that I didn't like that said it to me, I would still have to think about it and say, okay, are they right? Are they just saying that to hurt me? Blah, blah, blah. You know, because we only, in the end, right, if we're not standing up and if we're being stupid, we're also lying to ourselves. Like we're in the end, we're not being truthful to ourselves. And I want to say hello to Desiree that she
yes, I saw her. I didn't want to interrupt you. You know, the bottom line is we all have our quirks that we think makes us a better person. What's not good is when you try to impose it on somebody.
Yes.
Now, I'm very laissez-faire. I go with the flow. I work. I'm very spontaneous, impulsive. I know what I want to do, and I'll do it. Sometimes I do it, and it works out fine. Have I gotten better at planning? Yeah. What you can do is if you are, let's say, for instance, my hair looks a little frizzy. If you are a controlling person, you cannot impose how you want things done. You cannot have someone else do something that you want them to do because of your controlling addiction, right? So that's a no-no. If you are laissez-faire like me, you have to listen to somebody who is detail-oriented, like the Badass Buddha, because it keeps me in check. Because I am that artiste where I'll paint, I'll go to one room and start a painting, and I'll go bring something into my desk, and then I notice my pen, and I start writing a thought, and then before you know it, I have 2 pages of writing. Then I'll get up and say, oh, I want some coffee, and then the paint dries out in my paint dish. And you know what? And I'm okay with me because I've lived with me going on 53 years. And I know that is how I soothe my soul. And that's how I don't pick at the scabs of my wounds that have been just left there to fester. So I feed my spirit with things that make me happy. And then at the end of the day, they are productive because then I'll sell my paintings or I'll publish my writings. And so it's okay. Should I be living abundantly with everything I have? If I done everything, like work everything as it should, of course. But maybe my life isn't meant to be living in such big abundance. It is to enjoy the little bits of enlightenment that I give myself and to spread the joy to people who come into my life. Because sometimes that is being rich. That is living in abundance, is when you can give and not expect. And so if I eat, you eat. If I have something that needs to get done, I'm going to do it. It's not to hold or keep score. It's because it needs to get done. If I don't have, I'm going to say, listen, I wish I could help, but I don't have it. So how are we going to handle this? And if you're honest like that with yourself first and with the people you're dealing with, guess what? That's being brilliant. There's no stupidity, even if the other person is like, da, da, da. And why should we peer ourselves off with people who are not like us? Because it's a beautiful peer. It's a beautiful union. And when that person who is detail oriented says, you know what, I would feel better. If we can do it this way, then I'm going to say, because I know that's not in my spirit on a constant, I'm going to try harder because I know that it will make it easier. You know, and sometimes we just need to say, hey, Margie, why are you going around the corner when it's in the next block street? And that's all we need to tell the people we love and the people that we trust with our time. So I appreciate that, Badass Buddha. So that's what it is. And if that makes you dumb in other people's eyes, then be dumb, be brilliant, be stupid, be everything, but always be you. Be true to you. And then really, what are labels? Go ahead, Badass Buddha.
But well, I think in the end, though, it's the title being, why are we so brilliant and so stupid? I think we just really need to focus on the, of course you're going to be you. That's the goal, but always striving to be the best version of yourself. So it's more of the overall thing. It's not little minute things. It's the overall thing. It's like when we, if you are, if first off, if you don't believe you're brilliant, then first of all, you're really limiting yourself. You are always brilliant. You are, it doesn't matter how much school you go to, or how much schooling you've had. Look at me. I've had all that schooling. I can't even speak English properly. It doesn't matter. It just matters that you are brilliant no matter what. And it doesn't matter what the hell anybody tells you. Somebody that quote loves you and says how stupid you are on a daily basis, don't listen to them. You're brilliant.
Oh, I love that.
You might say to yourself, I'm stupid for staying with somebody who tells me that on a daily basis. And we would agree with you, because that's the part that we're saying is where we get stupid. We will have this idea of what we are capable of doing, and then we listen to one stupid person and they're stupid. We listen to one person and they will sideline us. Like you'll say, I've got this fabulous idea, and then and then you tell one, you're so excited and you tell one person like, oh, that's a dumb idea, and then you shrink.
But why do we go to that person knowing they're an asshole? Like that's the key that I want to say. Sometimes we self-sabotage by going first to the one person we know it's going to always chip away at our dreams.
Yes.
Why do we do that? Is that where the stupidity come in? Is that where we know we want it, but not enough to want it? So we go to that one person that with one slight word, it'd be like, all right, I'm not going to do it.
Well, they definitely give us permission not to, right? Because then they'll say, oh, then you'll turn around and say, oh, you know what? I think so-and-so said this and they must be right, because that's a stupid idea. Oh, Terry Fox is on. Sometimes stupidity comes from self-abandonment. Oh yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. It all stems around self-esteem in some elements, insecurities, but absolutely. And the self-sabotage comes from that as well. So yeah, thank you for that comment, Terry.
It is. And it's about, and what do we do when we find ourselves in that spot, badass Buddha? We have to go back to the drawing board, to the first page in that one book of love, self-love, and start the cultivation over. Because it is, we can be genius. And sometimes we're just attracted to that one thing that makes us make stupid choices and dumb choices, and sometimes it's just what are we seeking that we fall to that. There is something that we are seeking that
absolutely
on.
Absolutely
the individuals that are going to chip away at our dreams. And yes, it is self-abandonment of all our dreams, of all our plans, of all of me. Absolutely. I love
that. You're absolutely right. It's seeking, and it's trying to fill some void, and for whatever. And like I said, a lot of it is very deep set with childhood, because you see that a lot. It's like the reason why women go from men to men, or even vice versa, has to do with something they were lacking since they were a child. The reason that they'll get shit on numerous times by family, friends, even people they don't know, has a lot to do with, especially family. It's because of something from when they were a child. And the interesting thing is, these are always the individuals that can point it out about somebody else, but they can't notice it within themselves. And when you try to point it out to them, they refuse to see it. I know they see it. They just don't want to admit that they see it. Or they might admit it and they just slough it off like, I can't do anything about it. That really irks me, because I've been that person to say, I can't do anything about it. That's just, you've already said it in your mind. I can't change. That'll always be that way.
Clear defeat in your war. So what is there to reach out?
Oh, I like that. Clear defeat in your war.
Courageous, we have to be unapologetic to all of those around us. But before we can be unapologetically courageous, we have to forgive ourselves for past travesties we created upon ourselves through Terry Fox, self-abandonment, low self-esteem, lack of self-love. And I think that, everything has its step, it's the step, seek your self-esteem, fight for something to believe in, and then go up to the next step and do the self-love, and then the self-fulfillment, and you know what, and be your own lover, be the lover you seek, so that then you attract that lover, if that is what you're seeking. I don't put myself out there to find anybody just yet, but when I do, watch out, right? So and I think, good morning, Marina. And I think that we have to find the forgiveness within ourselves for all the errors we made, knowing we were making them as we're making them, and those that we were unaware of until the error was done. Yeah. I think that forgiveness, a sin is a sin is a sin. So don't compare what you did here with what you did here, and then, oh my God, then I went and did this. No. A sin is a sin is a sin, and it's always on an even keel. So learn how to forgive all the chaos and trauma you caused to yourself, so that then you can forgive the chaos and trauma people brought into your life because you were in that same parallel street with them, and now you move to the suburbs. So you got to forgive yourself and them, and then that's when you start new. When you forgive yourself for tolerating it, or for not being aware of it until you were too knee deep in shit, it's okay. You saw it when you needed to see it. Now start the self-forgiveness, so that then you can forgive everyone around you without saying it out loud to them, and then start that growth into being the brilliant person that you were born to be, because we are all born to be brilliant and share and be a purpose to this world, and we were born of service, and we can all get there again. But it all starts, you must inquire within. And you know what? We're going to be dumb. We're going to be stupid. We're going to be stupid when we're running into the room that we've had for 5 years, and we still stub our toe at the corner of the bed. Fuck! I do this every time, and I know it's there. That's how simply I can put it about being brilliant and dumb. Sometimes it just happens. And look around. What were you running to get? What were you running from? Like to get involved in something else, to avoid something else. Stop. Why was that wake-up call so painful on that freaking pinky toe? There's some message in everything. Be brilliant enough to pay attention to your life.
Perfect. What a beautiful way to end today's show. So thank you, everybody, for coming on. And for Thursday, we have Mastering All Areas of Your Life with our special guest, Carrie Klimas. So we're excited to have her on. She's a great bubbly lady, so it'll be exciting to have her on. So don't miss that one. That's going to be a real fun time. Oh my God, that was like the whitest thing ever to say, right? This is going to be a really fun time, and happy to be here. I mean, like, oh God. All right. Anyway.
You mean it though? Did you say it with feeling? Because if you said it with feeling, it was just you speaking. Okay. Love you too, Desiree. I'm happy you caught the ending.
All right, everybody. So thank you so much for coming on. Remember to come on for the Thursday show. Like, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Keep sending it forward. We thank you so much for coming on, and just, enjoy your day. And from me, the Badass Buddha, remember, be you, be real, and be extraordinary.
My gente, have a great week. Be productive mentally, spiritually, and in your core. When you sit down, sit up straight and say, I got this. That's what I did first thing this morning. My meditation ran over and I ran late. So please forgive me. And remember, breathe in the beauty and breathe out the bullshit. Namaste.
Namaste, everyone.